Good afternoon and welcome from Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes, and a historic podium for Williams and for Lance Stroll. Let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Baku's city circuit then. It's an unpredictable 3.7-mile track around the streets of the Azerbaijan capital. 20 turns for our drivers to navigate today, including the infamous Turn 8, one of the tightest and most challenging corners of the season. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Russell, Carlos Sainz and Hamilton, Norris, Ricciardo, Gasly and Esteban Ocon, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Mick Schumacher and Bottas, Joe, Fernando Alonso, Surfer Boy and Sebastian Vettel, Stroll, Richard Verschoor, Albon and Nicholas Latifi. And now it's time to head down to the track. Anthony Davidson is here once again for today's Grand Prix. We should talk about Williams. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Welcome to Driving Immersion for the immersive racing experience. Up ahead, a full race with full simulation from the cockpit. No interlock brakes, no traction control, no driving line, fully manual pit stops, and simulation wear and damage. We drive with a Fanatec Formula V2 wheel and pedals. We also use Track IR5 for driving from the cockpit. Let us know what you think of the race and comment below. Give us a like and consider subscribing. It helps us reach other racing fans. You can catch us on Facebook and YouTube. Our strategy is for a two-stop race. You can see here that we're starting off with a soft tire followed by two medium tires, and we're going to reduce the fuel to as low as we can go without running out of fuel by the end of the race. So Baku is a very flat race course. It's actually got a couple of very long straights in which you can take advantage of just flat out speed. So we have our wings reduced to just two in the front and two in the back.
Right, let's get the car up to temperature on this lap, please. We're learning the gears, so let's go through them all if you can.
So here we go through turn 1, which is a 90-degree turn. And most of the turns on this track are going to be 90 degrees, and that's why we're comfortable with leaving our wings at 2 and 2. Turn 2, again to the left, 90 degrees, coming to our first DRS zone right there. And this is our second longest straight to turn 3. And we're going to bring this down to about third gear. Again, 90 degrees to the left, with turn 4 coming right up, 90 degrees to the right.
Radar is clear, weather is looking good for now.
A little kink in the track here before we get to turn 5 to the left. And it's going to be a very short chicane, turn 6 to the right. And the second half of the back straight. Turn 7 here to the right, a little bit more than just 90 degrees, but again, it's very flat and it's rather wide. Turn 8 through here by the castle, 9, 10. This is turn 12. Again, out of turn 12, we're going to be struggling for grip as we're going to prepare for a couple of flat-out runs. Turn 14. Turn 15 here, very slow. Bring it down to third gear. You've got nowhere to go except for into the wall if you get it all wrong. Turn 16, another 90-degree turn, and right here you're going to accelerate out and you're going to keep your foot on the pedal all the way through. There are some cars you'll see throughout the race that will lift 17, 18, through 17 and 18. As there's only one track through there, you're not going to get two cars to come through. Little kink here is turn 20, and that will bring us to the second DRS zone along the main straight. as we approach our grid box. And this time we didn't get it right again.
Overshot it.
So we are starting the race in 17th place. We actually have a very fast car. We had the 11th fastest lap in P1, and somehow we were knocked out of P1 just due to time. So here we've got a very good start. We're not languishing in the back somewhere. We make a wide turn and we get by a few cars. You can see now that we are up to 16th place, passing Alonso and Vettel. Passing more cars here through turn 2. Now we're in 15th. Turn 3. Turn 4, and we are with the Alfa Romeos just ahead of us. And we are riding with the Alfa Romeo, watching the 66 behind. So here we're approaching the very slow part of the track, past the castle. So you can see here that the Alfa Romeo is putting a little bit of distance on us. We do not use traction control, so that's all up to driver ability. And you can see there that we had a little loss in traction, and the Aston Martin in the green car tried to come around. But here we are, flat out,
Right.
through 17, 18, and 19. Down the main straight. We've got a good pull from the Alfa Romeo, and we just get by. And here we are looking through the second Alfa Romeo, and we get by under braking through turn 1. So that's 2 cars in 1 lap, or 1 corner. Riding now with the 66 from the cockpit, we are looking right at Mick Schumacher and the Haas. And we got a good look on the outside. We just happened to be able to clip him off just in time to get by in turn 3. Turn 5 and 6 here, looking at Pierre Gasly in the AlphaTauri just ahead. And into the second lap, we are now in 11th place. So a couple of very good advantageous passes. So we are 1.1 seconds behind Pierre Gasly in front, now 0.8. And we're going to take advantage here again of the long straight and our very low wing settings. You can see here that we are catching up to Gasly very fast. We've got the ERS on all the way. And at the end of this lap, the DRS will be activated. No DRS this time, but we do get by Gasly as we have been able to slingshot past him through the long straight. Now, just ahead of us, we are looking at another AlphaTauri, and that's going to be Yuki Tsunoda. So at this point, Yuki Tsunoda is still pretty new to F1, and we're going to look for him to make some possibly aggressive moves. So we're going to wait and stay behind until we get to the straight part of the track to get by. I'm not going to try to sneak into one of these corners to get by him. Past the castle section.
A little eager there.
Turn 16. So we were very slow coming out of 15 as it's a very tight corner, and you can see there that the AlphaTauri almost got by. Here we go, Yuki Tsunoda got a good start coming out to the main straight, and you can see he's very
Lost a
far
lot of
ahead at
time.
this point. We activate our ERS.
Okay, you're in the top 10. Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 6.5 seconds.
So P10 by lap 4 is actually a very good result for us. We had some development added to the vehicle this weekend, including rear downforce, weight reduction for the under tray. We had developed motor generator unit and added engine power from spark plugs. Looking back now from the AlphaTauri of Yuki Tsunoda at 66. This time a little bit closer through the castle section, and hopefully he will not get a jump start on us going down the main straight. They do slow down quite a bit coming through 15, and so do we. So right now he's about 1.1 seconds just ahead of us. And you can see there that the 66 is pretty far back. And Yuki Tsunoda activates his DRS. With the 66 still in tow. There we are through the first DRS zone. We are able to get by Yuki Tsunoda. Coming out of turn 2, we had a very good jump start. So 9th place now with a Haas just ahead of us, and that should be Mick Schumacher. Very complicated through 10, 11, and 12 here. As the car's going very slow, you don't have a lot of downforce. So you have to depend on mechanical grip along with the tires. Turn 15, again a very slow left-hander with nowhere to go but the wall if you get it all wrong. So the Haas is within sight. Let's see if we can make this up with the ERS. And the DRS through the main straight. DRS should be activated. Come through the start-finish line. He is still ahead. I believe he had DRS available to him as well. Turn 2, we are very close now. Let's see if we can get the jump on him as we did with Yuki Tsunoda, and we can see that we got a very good pull. We're going to try to come around to the outside. Through turn 3, we are ahead. He's on the inside.
Good job. Nice overtake.
And we just happen to make it stick.
And gap to the car in front is 2.5 seconds.
So looking like a very, very good race. And we are able to take advantage of these soft tires through the very slow part of the track. And we are due for a tire change on lap 10. We're going to see how the medium tires will do for the race. So in general,
Caution.
so we've got a green light on the box there, light box there. I do see a dot that is slowing just ahead of us. There's somebody coming into the pit lane. Oh, somebody just expired. Yellow light. That's Max Verstappen.
Okay, clear.
So Max Verstappen had a big blow up through the main straight. Maybe they just let that thing rev too high. So lap 7, P7, with Esteban Ocon just ahead of us. And ahead of him, Carlos Sainz in a Ferrari. So we are doing really well at the very first part of this race. Turn 7. Turn 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we are, P7, lap 7. We are 3.3 seconds behind Esteban Ocon, just ahead of us. Just disappearing out of sight through the turns. So again, with the development applied to the car this weekend, we had more power, less drag, more downforce, better energy storage. You can see here that
and you're going to be on mediums.
as we go down the main straight, we are able to keep the ERS on a little bit longer without going to empty. So this weekend we have a really fast car. Now Esteban Ocon about 1.9 seconds ahead, so we did gain about a second or so on the straight. Looking back from the rear wing of Esteban Ocon in the Alpine. 66 just about to come in sight. coming through 17, 18, and 19. The trick here is to activate the ERS before you get to the first turn, which is 18.
And we're on the tires.
But then you deactivate it because you're going to be going too fast through 18 and 19. Once you get past 19, then you can reactivate it.
Faster than you.
So lap 9, we're having a look at our tires. Just before we come into the pit stop, you can see here that our fronts are not wearing as fast as our rears, so we are putting a lot of wear and tear on the rears, just accelerating out from these 90-degree turns. And that is to be expected. During the practice sessions, we were running lower tire pressure in the rear tires, and they actually showed more wear and applied less grip with less pressure, so we increased the pressure to equalize or to be equal to the front tires, and that gave us better grip accelerating out. However, they will still wear faster than the front ones on this track, but it did improve our acceleration grip. Very slow to turn 12. Again, coming to finish off lap 9. We're going to back off a little bit as the tires have worn past their optimal grip, and we're going to consolidate this lap, finish off lap 10, and get onto a new set of tires.
Wow, that's a lot of time.
So this lap we are actually 3.3 seconds behind our fastest lap. So there's our call to come in at the end of this lap. And you can watch the timing there on the steering wheel just below the gear indicator, how we're doing from corner to corner on the timing. When it's red like that, it indicates that we are slower than our fastest time through that particular point on the track. So coming in at the end of this lap, we are just nursing these tires now, staying away from the walls. Looking on from Sonoda, and we can hear there that he does have to lift a little bit through 18 and 19. It's possible that he has less wing than we do, but he's unable to make up a lot of time like we are. Coming in for our first pit stop, we're going to go to a set of mediums. And there is a line of cars coming in right behind us. So coming out of the pits, it looks like we've got a very clear track ahead of us. The yellow tires usually take about a lap or a lap and a half to come into full grip once you put them on. So after the pit stop, we're back in 14th place, about 5.4 seconds behind the car ahead of us. And that is going to be our teammate Richard Bashir. You can kind of see him disappearing into the corners as we go around. So as a result of our pit stop, you can see there that we have a McLaren very close to us, just behind, and we're making a little bit of time through the main straight. But at this level of development, even though our car is very fast, the McLaren is still faster. We do expect that he should be able to catch up. So now turn 3, we are about a half a second slower this lap. Again, 5 and 6 here. First gear chicane coming out of 6. Lots of traction there in 3rd and 4th. Slowing it all the way down to gear 2, 2nd gear. So coming out of turn 12 there, you saw that we did activate the ERS just to give us a little bit more acceleration.
Front is 11.1 seconds.
Sector 2 through 13 and 14 are actually just very wide turns, so you can actually just keep the pedal down. Here we are coming to finish lap 12. We are in P10 after all the pit stops. Starting lap 13 now. Still a clear track ahead of us. Coming through turn 12, you can see on timing there that we have Pierre Gasly and Mick Schumacher just ahead. Pierre is about 8 seconds ahead of us, but he hasn't stopped for his first stop yet. And again, this is a result of us making our first pit stop into the first set of mediums. Again, we'll be stopping again at lap 28 of this 51 lap race. So coming through 18 and 19, we're now in the main straight. You can either get 18 and 19 completely right or completely wrong and go into the wall. Very hard braking in turn 1. So we are now 7 seconds behind Pierre Gasly. Made about a second on that lap. Lando Norris in the McLaren is behind us. He is losing a little bit of time. He was a little bit closer when we came out of the pits. It's possible that their strategy is so that he started on medium tires, which may be starting to get old by now. And maybe that's why he's falling back a little bit. It did look like he had a set of yellow tires on there. Coming in through turn 15, that curb on the left, which is actually pretty high, does push you out very far wide on the exit. And again, if you ride on that curb, it's very possible that it will just throw your car into the wall. But you will lose time exiting if you do ride on that curb. Down the start finish straight, no one around us, no DRS. So after changing out of the soft tires on lap 10, we are in a fresh set of yellows, and lap 15 now. The only thing we can do here is try to make up some time with some very good, clean and consistent laps. There are cars that are coming up to us now just ahead of us. And it's very possible that that's Gasly and Schumacher or Magnussen. Kevin Magnussen, sorry. So if they haven't pitted yet for their first set of tires, they will be coming in pretty soon. Baku is actually a very long lap compared to some other tracks, so I expect that they should be able to get to around lap 20. So we're starting off lap 16. We are now back in 10th place, 3.4 seconds behind Pierre Gasly ahead. And you can kind of just see them just ahead, and he should be with Kevin Magnussen on their first set of tires. Looking at the timing, it looks like Tsunoda is also on his first set of tires.
Somebody up there is slowing both of these cars down.
There they are, Magnussen. Oh, very wide through there. Turn 8, turn 9, turn 10, 11, 12. Accelerate out, activate ERS. You can see there that we did lose traction for just a little bit. Was able to catch the car again. Turn 15, avoid the curb. There we are. You can see that we bounced right over it with our left tires. Don't want to do that too much or too often. Down the main straight, we are a little bit too far for DRS to be able to activate it. Coming in through turn 1, you see the cars just ahead of us. I believe they are still just a little bit too far for us to activate our DRS. Yes, they are. Our wing is still closed. So this is where a developed MG UK is going to come into play, and it does help create electricity to power our hybrid batteries, and that allows us to have ERS longer and more often. And we do use ERS throughout the lap, but at the end here, we're up to 25% after emptying it out at the end of the lap. So that's actually a very good energy generation. So 19% now, coming into the main straight. So after turn 19, we're just going to activate it all the way and burn it all the way down. You've got DRS now from the cars ahead of us. You can see there that the two are coming into pit. So that was actually a faster lap for us, as we were able to drive with the DRS activated.
To fit the mediums. Car ahead now running medium tyres.
So we're back to Esteban Ocon just ahead of us, just before we started to pit. And it looks like he's a little bit closer this time
What their
around.
strategy was.
Let's see if we can make some time on him on the long straight. Activate the ERS just a little bit, turn it back off through 18 and 19. Now, during the practice sessions, we were able to see top speeds about 215 with the DRS and the ERS fully activated through the start-finish line. But here in the race trim, it's only about 209, 210. Through turn 6, turn 7. So you got to the head look there, and you can see that it's clear skies all around. We don't expect rain or any weather for the race. And it looks like a sunny, glorious afternoon here in Baku.
lap to the car ahead. They're just edging away.
He does have new tires.
You're increasing the gap on the car behind by 0.5 a lap.
Enjoying the race? Give us a thumbs up and consider subscribing. It helps us reach other race fans. So you can see there that Esteban Ocon is able to maintain a distance ahead of us. And at this point of the season, the Alpine should be more developed than our first year car. So that is entirely plausible. Having a look here at the temperatures going through the HUD, tire wear.
Come on.
So 210 past the start-finish line. Again, no DRS activated. The Alpine is still too far ahead. Back in the cockpit, you can see here that difference driving from the T-cam from the cockpit. You do get to see the tracks full width from the T-cam, but from here, from the cockpit, you have to depend on your skill for estimating exactly how far or how much track you've got. So starting off the back straight or main straight here, you can see that we're a little bit closer to Ocon. We did see him disappear through 16. Again, still too far here to activate our DRS.
He's fast.
We do have good generation from our ERS, so we're going to keep it all the way on until we get to the end of the straight. And the braking that's done through turn 1 and turn 2 is enough to generate energy for us to be able to use it again all the way through to turn 3. You can see here that we are up to 3% by the time we get to turn 3. So you can see Ocon disappearing just ahead of us through turns. Timing does show that he's about 3.5 seconds ahead. Looking back now from the rear wing of Esteban Ocon. see there that the 66 just appears coming out of the turn. So he's a good distance right now, coming into the main straight. Back on board with the 66.
So I made about half a second on him on that lap.
We are catching up to Esteban Ocon, but
around a second faster than the car ahead. Keep this up.
very slowly. That second ahead that was just called in.
It is fast.
Looking back again, you can see the 66 is a little bit closer to the slow sections now. So through the slow section, it looks like we lost about 0.2 of a second, but coming down the back straight here, or main straight, we've gained that time back. In fact, we gained another half a second coming through 17, 18, and 19, and now we are 2.1 seconds, 2 seconds behind. 1.8. So coming into turn 2,
Teammate behind is 30.1 seconds.
Esteban Ocon is now in clear view. Again, we have enough ERS to activate it through here.
Okay, gap ahead is 2.5 seconds.
So again, through the slow section, you can see that Esteban Ocon made up nearly about a second ahead of us. But through here, we're taking most of that time back. We burned our ERS all the way down to 0%. So lap 25 of 51 here. You can see that we are racing with Esteban Ocon, but look at the timing board. You can see that he is 16 seconds behind Carlos Sainz in 5th place, so the front runners are way ahead. So through 7, 8, and 9, and 10, you can see that the Alpine ahead is about a second faster than us. And again, that will indicate that he definitely has more downforce, more grip than we do. And through here down the main straight, you can see that we're going to take all that time back.
We're approaching the pit window and you're going to be on mediums.
Again, lap 26 now. We are going to maintain our place here behind Esteban Ocon. We are coming in at lap 28 of 51 for our second set of tires. There's a sharp left-hander of turn 15. Again, the curb does come out, and it pushes you out wide.
These stars have gone away.
So very slow through there. We are 3.2 seconds behind Esteban Ocon in the Alpine ahead. So we did lose time. At this point in the race, we do expect to come in within a couple of laps. We are expected on at the end of lap 28. We can stretch that or make it sooner depending on how the tires are doing. They are doing very well, although they're not as fast as they were before. They're still very much manageable. And seeing as to how they wore out in about 18 laps to the condition that they're in now, I wouldn't dare think of trying to finish the race with these. I suppose if we did put on
the car ahead is 2.6 seconds.
the hard tires, we would have been able to make it through. But I believe the yellows here are the mandatory tire, so we do have to use them. But all of that is speculation. Our strategy was set at the beginning of the race. And considering the race, we are happy with these tires. And we are not trying to get closer or trying to pass Esteban Ocon at this point, because we will be coming in. And he will be coming in as well. Unless he has the white tires or the hard tires. A set of yellows could not finish the race at this point.
Okay, we want you to pit this lap, so push now, push.
There we go, we are coming in at the end of lap 28. Might as well burn out this ERS. And incidentally, we are closer to Esteban Ocon now more than we were before. It's very possible that he could be preparing to come in as well. And we shall see in just a few moments. The very tall curb of turn 15. Now again, you can see through the timing there that he did make up that time through the slow section. There he is, just ahead of us. Doesn't look like he's coming in. Here we are coming into the pit lane. A little bit early on the pit limiter.
Always miss it.
Your late turn-in meant we had a slower than planned pit stop, I'm afraid. That was our last stop. No more scheduled pit stops. Let's go.
So race 8 of 22 races, we have not been able to overcome that late turn into the pit box. One of these days we'll find a secret to it. But it does cost you time in the pit box. Oh, lock up there, very wide through turn 6. No, turn 4. So this is turn 6. And looking back, we have a Alfa Romeo and an Aston Martin behind him. I believe they'll be coming into the pits sometime soon, so we're not necessarily racing with them. There's a couple of more cars behind them way in the distance. And this is one of the first races in maybe 5 or 6 races that we have not been lapped. So we are doing fairly well. And again, very happy with the results so far. Looking back, you can see that the 2 cars did come in to change out of their tires. And again, that is a Alfa Romeo and one of the Aston Martins. I believe that is Vettel and perhaps Guan Yu Zhou. Yep. So lap 30 of 51, we are finished with our pit stops. We are in 8th place, 12 seconds behind Yuki Tsunoda. Possible that he will still come in. We were ahead of him earlier before our pit stop, so we do expect him to come in again. Same thing with Esteban Ocon. We should be ahead of him if we didn't stop, so we do expect him to come in. Carlos Sainz, the car in front of him by 21 seconds. I believe that even when he does come in, we may not be able to leapfrog him in the pits. So he does have a fairly good distance ahead of us. And if he does come in, that is one of the cars that we will be racing with. But it will be for a 5th place finish if possible. So So right behind us we have a McLaren, and I believe that is the Alpine. Yes, it is, of Fernando Alonso. Just 2 and 4 seconds behind. They are faster cars in development at this point of the season, so we do expect them to catch up to us. So right now with fairly new tires, what we're trying to do is make sure that we run very conservative laps and not put additional wear and tear on these tires that we have to finish the race with. Turn 5, turn 6, first gear. Sprint to turn 7. And we're gonna ride over the curb. Oh, a little nudge to the wall there. Did not see any damage indicator pop up, so we should be good.
The wall.
So riding here with Fernando Alonso, again, they're just a couple of seconds behind us. From the T-cam of Lando Norris in the McLaren, we're watching him and Fernando Alonso, again, just a couple of seconds behind us. Right now, Lando Norris has a faster car than Alonso in the Alpine. However, if we were to race either of these drivers, we would rather race Norris than Alonso. Alonso, again, with a little bit of a slower car, will be a more aggressive driver and will be more willing to take a risky pass around us if that's what it comes to. So we are hoping that Lando Norris here in the orange McLaren can keep him behind, and that's why we are riding with him to watching him to see where he is. Right now he's not making too much time on us, so it's very possible that he may have a similar setup, or he may have tires that are aging. We shall soon see. So again, through 9, 10, 11, he is able to make up a lot of time. And that is where our setup for this race has a weakness. But it's a shorter period of time that we have that weakness than we have disadvantage through the main straight, so it was definitely worth keeping the wings low. So lap 33 now, 8th place behind Yuki Tsunoda and Esteban Ocon. We believe those cars will still come in to change out of their tires to be able to finish the race. And looking behind us, we have Lando Norris and Fernando Alonso within a couple of seconds. So if we make any mistakes, they could make the race very difficult for us. looking back, we still have Lando Norris behind us, and we have behind him Fernando Alonso. So here you can see that we are putting time on them using our DRS. We do not have a car in front of us, so we can't use our DRS. So lap 34 now of 51. If you look at the information available on the steering wheel on the upper right hand of the display, you can see that we have a negative 0.02, and that is our fuel for the race. So right now we are, and if you take a close listen, we are short shifting and coasting early just to save fuel, as you would in the practice sessions. So upshifting early, you can see now that we are 0 and 0.01 in the negative. So as long as that number is red, we don't have enough fuel to finish the race. Right now we're ahead a little bit, so we will be bouncing back and forth for the next few laps, and if there is a caution or four-course yellow, of course that would help us to save fuel, and we wouldn't have to worry about it. But right now we are lifting early and short shifting just to make up that fuel. I think it was after F1 2020.
Ocon's in the pits.
So Ocon has come in. And there's a yellow right now. The call from the pits is usually a little bit late. That is a yellow flag, and that is an Alpine, I believe. Yep, that should be Ocon.
Green flag.
And his motor just grenaded. I had a feeling that the call from the pits that Ocon came in was a little bit late. As we came around turn 2, you saw that he was just up ahead, and as we passed him, you saw that his engine did expire, so he is done for the day. In the meantime, we now have the McLaren, the Alpine,
Get back.
very much closer to us. And here we are with just about 10 or so laps to go. We have to save fuel and conserve our tires, and race with 2 cars. So it's been an exciting race so far, and there are all the variables available from Formula 1 here in the game. Looking on now from Lando Norris, you can hear that he did lift a little bit coming out of 18. The 66 there, we are leaning towards our left a little bit just to possibly keep the McLaren out of our air, because we don't want to be pulling him down the straight and bring him closer to the car. So here, if you look in his mirrors, he does not have DRS available to him yet. Coming in through turn 3. Looking back at the timing, he is still a second behind. 1.2. And then Fernando Alonso, 1.7 behind him. He's very close now through turn 7. You can see there that he did drive aggressively over the curb on the inside. And it is relatively flat, so you can drive over that curb. Very close through turn 15. It's definitely a race now with the McLaren and Alpine.
So we're leading our teammate by 40.2 seconds.
I believe they will have their DRS available to them coming down the straight.
Save fuel anymore.
So coming in through turn 6, it looks like we have put a little time on the 2 cars behind us. Coming through turn 15, you can see that the McLaren is 1.2 seconds, now 0.9 seconds behind. And we must keep him at least 1 second behind through the DRS trip zone here. So it doesn't appear that he has his DRS activated. We can't see the timing right now, but you can see through the straight there that his wing was closed. And let's have a look at here, because they should have their DRS available to them. And their wings are closed. Actually, Alonso's is open because he's behind Lando Norris, but not close enough to the 66. On board with Fernando Alonso on the Alpine, 0.6 seconds behind Lando Norris in the McLaren. So the 2 cars are fast, just not fast enough. (18, 19). I didn't hear Alonso lift that time. Half a second behind Lando Norris. He should have his DRS available to him. And you can see now that he's only just starting to catch up. On board with Lando Norris, looking back at Alonso and the Alpine. A little bit of a lockup there for Lando Norris, but Alonso didn't have any room for anything. So these two are racing as well. Back on board with the 66. Exiting turn 12, lap 39 of 51. So Carlos Sainz just got the fastest lap of 148. And having a look at the display on the steering wheel, you can see now that our fuel is at a surplus, so we should be able to finish the race, and we can charge hard at this point if we have to. And we're going to turn the ERS back on.
Okay, Lewis is too far ahead.
No. There we go. And we're going to burn the rest of this off before the end of the lap.
Time to consolidate the car here. See the tires a little bit.
On board with Lando Norris, you can see now that Fernando Alonso on the Alpine has gotten around through turn 3, just outbraked him. He would have had DRS available to him from turn 2 to turn 3, which is a fairly long straight, so it's reasonable that he was able to get by him as long as he was close enough at the exit of turn 2. So now here comes Alonso. And looking back at the McLaren, he is able to put a little time on him already. So right now Alonso is faster than Norris. You can see he's putting time on him. And looking at the timing, he is still just 2.9 seconds behind. When they were racing with each other, they lost a lot of time to the 66. But we do expect him to come up.
The car behind is dropping back by about 0.3 a lap. Well done.
And perhaps give us a race for the end. Our fuel reserve is getting better and better. So these are the two cars behind us. You can see that they are definitely in sight of the 66. We are coming through the tighter, slower portion of the track. So we do expect them to make up some time. So Fernando Alonso is now about a second behind, less than a second, so he should be able to trip the DRS activation.
That is Alonso. He broke free of Norris and go faster now.
So again, looking at the timing, you can see that we are about a second faster than Alonso down the straight. So we have a good likelihood that we should be able to keep ahead of him as long as we don't wear out our tires or break a wing. With Lando Norris coming in through 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And he's got Fernando Alonso just ahead of him. He's going to want to come up a little bit closer to activate the DRS. And right now we've got Fernando Alonso right under our wing through turn 15. Again, we're about a second faster than him through the straight here, so hopefully that'll give us a little bit of distance. You can see he's falling back just a little bit before he exits through 19. Here's turn 20. And he should have his DRS available to him. But again, too much distance right now. We'll have to get a better jump start out of 18 and 19 to be able to come around. Lap 43 of 51. We are in 6th place, but we are 41 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton in 5th place. We will definitely won't be able to make that up in less than 10 laps. Unless someone has a failure. But we are watching the 2 cars behind us through the slow section. You can see that Alonso's very fast, right under our wing here. But we are ahead in this very slow, tight section, and he's not going to be able to get around. There we are from the nose of the Alpine. You can see he's very close to the 66. We do make a little space here as we have a better top speed. Again, no lift through 18 and 19.
Okay, gap to the car ahead is 43.4 seconds.
Back with Alonso. Racing with the 66, he should have his DRS available here, and you can see that we're not able to pull out too far away.
A little shy on the brakes.
Yep, that was a little wide through turn 4. Turn 7, 66 within track limits. A little wide through there. He's as close as he's ever gotten. Again, we're able to accelerate out a little bit sooner than he is. So the exit out of turn 12 is very important, as you can accelerate sooner than the car behind you. You can definitely make up space. Turn 16, turn 17, 18, 19, and riding on board with the 66, we stay flat on the throttle. Only 0.6 seconds ahead of Fernando Alonso, so he's giving us a race. Right now, still not enough speed coming down the straight, and we're able to stay ahead. So lap 45 at 51, less than 6 laps to go. We are looking good for our best finish ever of the season. As long as we stay ahead of Fernando Alonso here and Lando Norris just behind. Yuki Tsunoda is about 7 seconds behind Lando Norris, so we're not really racing with him at this point unless we have a failure or these two cars get ahead of us. Again, with less than 6 laps to go, it would be very hard for him to catch up. So right now we are racing with these two. And you can see here that Alonso is close again. Again, closer than ever, coming in through turn 20 here. He will have his DRS available to him and whatever ERS he's got in reserve, but I still have a lot of ERS at this point.
Laps of fuel remaining.
So now going back to what we had said earlier,
Front tires
we
are
would
starting
rather
to go.
race Lando Norris than Fernando Alonso, and you can see here that Alonso is taking advantage of the race as much as he can. And given that he's got the space, he would pass us immediately. Both cars behind us having their DRS open, still not fast enough through the straight.
Yep.
Oh, it looks like Alonso had a good look inside. Loses a little bit of traction coming out of turn 12. Again, loses traction out of 15, and you can see that Lando Norris is quick to capitalize. He is now ahead of Alonso. Just out of a couple of mistakes, maybe that Alonso's rear tires are starting to go. You saw that within 2 corners he made a couple of mistakes, losing traction. So end of lap 47, start of 48, you can see that, well, actually, yeah, Norris is now ahead of Alonso, and Fernando Alonso is 1.5 seconds behind Lando Norris. Having a look at our temperatures on the HUD. Making sure that our rear tires, which are again wearing faster than our front tires, are within temperature. Oh, big bump there as Fernando Alonso tries to come in. Maybe Lando Norris left the door open again. This goes back to what we were saying earlier. Fernando Alonso is a little bit more aggressive, taking a risky shot like that. So I do believe he has a faster car than Lando Norris at this point. And I don't think he'll hesitate again to try to get by if the opportunity comes up. So now they're racing against each other, has let the 66 go by. Just disappearing in the distance as we come through turn 16. Got the toe on Lando Norris. Coming around again. Norris moves to the inside. Oh, a little bump there.
Whoa.
And you may have seen a little bit of smoke, maybe a lockup from the 66. We were not on board at the
Tires
time.
are not that great.
And again, looking here at the HUD, you can see the rear tires are 39% worn, actually 41% on the right rear. Again, accelerating out of the left-hand turns onto the straights, especially
Looks like Alonso got around
turn
Norris
12.
again.
Yeah, so looking at the timing, it looks like Alonso did get around Lando Norris, who is now 4.3 seconds behind. So perhaps a big mistake there from Lando Norris. There's Alonso. And you can see Norris is further behind. 66 still in sight. There's Lando Norris coming into the pits. Perhaps he's got some damage. And it looks like they're holding a front wing. Definitely changing the front wing. So
He's coming in hot.
possible that he may have collided with Fernando Alonso. We did see a little bit of a bump, but it didn't dislodge the front wing altogether. Perhaps damaged it terminally, so he had to come in and change it out. So Lando Norris no longer racing with us. Looking at the timing, it's hard to tell how far back he fell. It's possible that he would be out of the points at this time of the race. Now Alonso definitely further back now, 3 seconds behind. It's possible that he could also have some damage that he's just nursing till the end. Yep, Lando Norris back down to 13th place with that pit stop for a new wing. Oh, very wide through there. Definitely over the curb on turn 16. And looking at the timing again, you can see that we are now 52 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton. So after our tire change, we had lost about 10 seconds to the car ahead. And it's just that the Mercedes is that much faster.
The car behind is lapping faster than us by around a second a lap.
Yeah, I believe he's coming for us.
So last lap. And Fernando Alonso, 2.5 seconds behind. He will try to make a charge, but I think he's a little bit too far at this point. If he gets a little bit closer through the slower, tighter sections that we're coming through now, he may have a chance, but again, we can outsprint him through the straight. So we just try to keep the car off the wall. Tires are in good shape. And we were able to save a little bit of fuel, just enough to be able to finish the race. So our last time around, turn 15, over the curb. Alonso is very close now, but again, we are faster than him through the straight, so unless we mess up 18 and 19 and perhaps scrape the wall, we shouldn't be able to get by. Back on board with the 66. Tires worn down to 46% in the right rear, but doesn't matter now because this is the last lap. We're going to use up all of our ERS for whatever reason. Checkered flag. There we go. Start finish line.
Yes, we are in the points.
All right, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
And this is our highest finish of the season so far. 6th place, and we also
And driver of the
got
day.
driver of the day. So very good race for the 66.
So as they climb out of the car, the Red Bull team are ready and waiting to celebrate a thoroughly deserved win. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
I think that smart tyre management on track and very smooth driving definitely assisted in their victory today. That combination meant they got the absolute maximum out of their tyres at all times.
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently, and it's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be so proud of the victory they've secured here. let's have a quick look at how the drivers' standings have changed. Despite the best efforts of our championship leader, that lead has taken a bit of a knock today. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Surfer Boy. They demonstrated a very delicate touch in close proximity to other cars, as well as showing a lot of maturity and patience in difficult situations.
Let's move on to the constructors. The lead at the top comes down after a strong weekend from the challenging pack. Meanwhile, good work from the owner-drivers team this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
So having a quick look at the standings here, you can see that we did finish off in 6th place, starting off from 17th. Fastest lap is a 1:49.3. And going back down, you can see here that we are ahead of the cars that we normally race with, including our teammate who finished in 17th. His fastest lap was a 1:53, so we're 1 second ahead. And these are the lap cars and failures. You can see that Valtteri Bottas is a lap behind. I believe he had a wing change. Mick Schumacher did not finish, along with Esteban Ocon. You saw the big explosion there on the main straight. Max Verstappen finished early in the race, and so did Daniel Ricciardo. Thanks for watching the race at Driving Immersion. Again, let us know what you think of the race, give us a like, and consider subscribing for more simulation races ahead.